I wonder how many of you have actually heard of the verse in the Bible that says, they shall mount up with wings as eagles, they shall run and not be weary, they shall walk and not faint. In fact, if you know anything about Christian schools at all, there's probably, out of the, I'm guessing on a number, 100 Christian schools in Indiana, probably 90 of them are the Eagles and have that verse, Isaiah 40:31, somewhere on their walls. And on the wall, they've got the picture of this eagle that's like, I mean, it's got fangs and it's just ready to bite and ready to pounce on somebody, and it's just about ready to kill something. And obviously their mascot is an eagle, and so they're trying to make the idea, they shall run and not grow weary, they shall walk and not faint, those types of things. But I think a lot of times we use that verse and we think about it in an intense way, like, we will mount up with wings as eagles, we will run and we won't be weary, and we will walk and we won't faint, and that's us, and we're going to do that. But the problem is, a lot of times when you look at that on the wall, there's a ... in front of they shall mount up with wings. So the idea is this: there are other parts to the verse other than they shall mount up with wings as eagles, they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. There's another part of the verse, and the other part of the verse says this: but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Then it says, they shall mount up with wings as eagles, and it continues on through the rest of the verse. But a lot of times we want to take hold of that we're going to mount up with wings as eagles, because when we think of eagles, we think of majestic and just ready to, I mean, you look at one of them babies flying through the air and you're like, holy cow, it's going to eat a small child, it's huge. And then you think about running and not being weary. All of us want to be able to run and not be weary. I hate running. And if you run like a tenth of a mile, I'm the one that's like bent over, like, is it over yet? Because I hate running. But all of us want that idea of they shall run and not be weary. All of us want the idea of we're going to walk in our spiritual life and not faint. All of us want those things. But there's a prerequisite. There's something that God requires prior to doing those things. And what he requires is, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Then it goes on for the rest of the verse. God puts a requirement to be that fierce eagle. And it's the idea of waiting. Doesn't that kind of seem like it goes opposite? It kind of seems like it doesn't go hand in hand. It seems like it's one versus the other. Like, I shouldn't be having to wait to mount up with wings as an eagle and beat somebody to death. I shouldn't have to wait to do that. That should be something that happens now. But the idea throughout the entire Bible is not that we act on impulse. It's not that when something happens, we get angry about it, and we do this and we do that, and we're just going to be frustrated about it. Some of the hardest times in our life are when we have to wait. Some of you who have gone through your parents splitting up, and the idea of waiting to find out if they're going to get back together, if they're going to stop arguing, the waiting was the worst part. Some of you have been with loved ones towards the end of their life and waiting for them to pass away because you know it's coming, and that's the hardest part, is waiting. But God says if you wait on him, those people, the people that wait on the Lord, they will mount up with wings as eagles. They will run and not be weary. They will walk and not faint. Not the people that respond on impulse and just as soon as it happens, man, I'm doing it. But the people that wait. If you look at the book of Proverbs and you read any of the verses in Proverbs, none of them, besides negative ones, are about acting impulsively. And by impulsively, I mean right away. I'm going to do this right now. All of Proverbs is written with the idea of wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. With all that getting, get understanding. That doesn't happen impulsively. You don't get wisdom on day one and then the rest of the days you're fine. That's a time process. It takes time. What God is requiring of you and I is to wait on him. I don't know what situation it is for you. I know what it is for me. I don't know what situation for you it is that God is requiring you to wait on him. But let me tell you something. If you want to have any chance of being the eagle, if you want to have any chance of running and not growing weary, or walking and not fainting in your spiritual life, then you wait on the Lord. Man, I don't know if you put out college applications and you're waiting to get those back. I don't know if you put out job applications and you're waiting to get those back. But don't act impulsively. Wait on the Lord. But they that wait on the Lord, they shall renew their strength. My challenge to you is this week. There are going to be times throughout this week, no matter what it is, that you're going to have to wait on the Lord for something. It may be when you're reading your devotions in the morning and you're just, man, it seems stale, and you've got to keep reading because you want to get something from the Lord. You might have to wait on him. It may be that when you're at school and someone's bullying you and you're just really trying to get away, that you got to wait on the Lord. It may be that there's a relationship problem that you got to wait on the Lord. It may be that there's a parental problem between your parents or between you and your parents that you just have to wait on the Lord. But wait on the Lord, because that's the only way you're going to have any chance of finishing out Isaiah 40, verse 31 in your life. Love you guys. Hope this week that God brings things in front of you that allows you to wait on him so that this verse can be proven to you in your own life. Have a good week.